This we call our dynamic hip flexor, trunk, and groin stretch, all back to back to back in the same exercise. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna elevate your back leg on an elevated surface, such as a bench or like anywhere from like an 18 to 20 inch box. The higher the surface, the more the stretch that you're gonna feel in your hip flexor and quad. Okay, so you shouldn't feel any front of the knee pain on this exercise. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this soft pad underneath my knee, so you can put a towel or something like a pad underneath. And I'm gonna elevate my back leg on that surface where my shoelace is on there. And then we're gonna make sure that we're in one straight line at the beginning, so your foot, your knee, and your hip is in one straight line. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the surface that's behind me with my opposite hand. And so the same side that's being stretched, which is my hip flexor on the back leg that's elevated, we're gonna use that same hand, and we're basically gonna side bend. We're gonna pause for 1 full second. You're gonna feel a big stretch kind of along all this outside of the body. You're gonna pause 1 full second and come back in. So as we're doing this exercise, you wanna make sure that your hip is tucked underneath you, or you're pushing your hip forward a little bit, but not where you're arching and compressing your low back. You shouldn't feel any back pain on this exercise. So you're going to side bend for the prescribed amount of reps. Again, you're feeling a big stretch on the outside of your body, your hip flexor, maybe your upper lat right here, your obliques, as you side bend. Again, we'll go for the prescribed amount of times. After that, you're gonna rotate to that open side leg. I'm gonna hold with my outside hand, outside knee. I'm still holding on to the outside surface with my hand to minimize the balance and the swing. And again, keeping yourself nice and tall, nice and stacked. Now you're just going to rock back. I call these pulses. So now you're going to really get a bigger stretch on your hip flexor and your quad as you rock back. Again, we'll go for the prescribed amount of reps. And we're basically flossing and just pulsing through that hip flexor into that quad. And we're making sure that we're not crouching. So stay nice and tall. Imagine there's a string pulling you from the top of your head and you're nice and tall. The third exercise you're gonna do is you're gonna open out your leg in kind of this oblique position right here. And then you're gonna drop your waistline, your hip towards the ground. And you're gonna feel a stretch on your groin right here. So think about rocking your knee over your foot here as you drop this opposite side hip towards the ground to feel the groin. So this is now the groin stretch. The first two exercises were for your hip flexor, quad, and spine. Now this one is just for your groin, as well as rocking your knee over your foot. So a little bit of ankle mobility on this leg here. So ankle mobility on my open leg, groin flexibility on the leg that's still on the couch or the elevated surface of choice. And again, we'll go for the prescribed amount of reps on this exercise. If needed, you can also play around with your foot position. If you want to drop it a little bit wider, more to the outside, drop it. Or if you want to still stay in this oblique angle, that's fine. You can kind of play around with different positions and go for different, reps on each position. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with changing your foot position to feel the best stretch on your groin.